fellow coaches. Today we're going to look at attack off 10. Again, with the Japan national team, we're going to try to create options off 10. So we're going to try to put 2 forwards, 2 back rows. Our best ball carrier is always off 10. And then we're going to have an outside option off 10. So what we're doing is creating a shape which we call a triangle off 10 that gives us potentially always 3 options, and the 4th option being the 10 himself. So we'll do it in a small drill to start with, then we'll put it in a game-like situation to finish. And the other point I'd really like you to concentrate on today is just to watch the running lines of the players. It's really important that the players, when they catch the ball, are catching the ball early. Their first step is as straight as possible as it can, and then they're able to make the defender turn his shoulders, because that's what we're aiming to do, is always attacking weak shoulders. So I hope you can watch the session and learn today, and we'll have a chat at the end to see how it went. So now we're concentrating on the attack off 10 rather than off 9. So off 10 we're trying to get, again, 2 forward runners, 2 back row runners if possible. So here we've just set up the drill, 5 versus 3, 3 defenders defending on the 10, the first forward and the second forward. So 10 has the 2 outside options in the back rows and the 12 out the back with a supporting backs player. So we want the 10 to be making the appropriate decision. So if he's defender drifts, we want him to show and go. We want to be watching the shoulders of the second and third defender to see where they go, to pick the right option. So we're just going to add a 4th defender in here. We want him to either turn his shoulders in or turn his shoulders out. And for the player outside the number 12 out here, he's got to be looking at that player's shoulders to see what he's doing. It's really important here that the forwards keep their own running line. You don't want them attacking the same space. So the inside runner, he's got to keep this defender busy. The outside runner has to keep this defender busy. So they're both running small unders line. But once the ball is in the hands of the ball carrier, the next forward's got to be the closest, got to be the second man in, so he's got to adjust his support line quickly. So that's good work there, very good work. Took the short ball, the outside runner adjusted quickly, cleaned out straight over the head of the ball, and would have created a quick ball in the game situation. So one of the key things you want to see about good attack is the options that the ball carrier has. Here you can see the ball carrier has 3 options. He has the short runner, he has the outside runner, and this player here should just be up a little bit closer there. And then he has another option there. You can see this defender now has turned his shoulders in, so the actual play we should be playing is to the outside here. But when you're looking at attack, if you're only seeing this in the frame, then it's not great attack, because then this defender knows he can turn in. Now what you want to be doing is making this defender thinking of whether he's got to turn in or stay out. Here when he's turned in, we should be playing to the outside. If he turns out, then we want to be playing to the inside. The other thing we've got here is nice shape on the ball carriers. The outside man's slightly in front of the inside man. We'd like our number 10 just to be a little bit squarer if you can. But as you can see, he's held up that defender there now quite nicely. So good option there, hit the runner running short. In all of these drills, we're trying to work as much as possible in the normal workspace they work in. So in the game situation, that's the space they normally receive the ball and how much time they'd have for the defender before the defence comes. So workspace is really important in rugby training, that you keep it exactly the same as a game. So number 10 at the moment, just trying to explain to him that he's got a tendency just to go with the pass. Because he's going with the pass, he's tending to allow the defenders to drift. So we just want him to keep that a little bit straighter, keep his shoulders squarer. You know, 10s always drift but you want to keep them as straight as possible. If they can go at 45 degrees, we're quite happy for that. So there he does much better. Again, nice and square there, creates a space on the outside. Just explain to the players there, we want ideally those two runners to be in synergy, so running a nice straight line and then both cutting at the same time, so the 10's got the option of hitting whichever one, because they're holding their defenders there. So it's a very good line there from the forward. Got a one-on-one situation, and then you want the backs are playing as though they're playing off fast ball here, so flattening up, taking the ball on the line and keep the ball moving. So that was the best example we've seen so far. Good option there again. Although we're practicing attack here, we really want the defence to be in good body position all the time, so getting their shoulders in the right position. So that's a really good example of what we're trying to achieve. Both of the runners here have committed their defenders, so they can't drift. So therefore now, if there's a ruck there, we've cut out that whole defensive line by having two runners there, which then means that in this area here, if they've got 6 defenders, there's going to be more space on the outside. In this drill, we've only obviously got 1 defender. In the game, there'll be more defenders. But that's exactly what we're trying to do. This ball receiver here has done reasonably well. We'd just like him to be a little bit squarer, but you can see he's going to commit this defender. And as we play, that creates a space on the outside. So that was really well executed. So that's the whole idea. What we're trying to do is compress the defence to create opportunities on the outside. But to compress the defence, you have to have your 10 in a position where he attracts the defender, and you have to have your runners square so they commit their defenders. So the last thing we're going to do is attack defence, and we're going to vary the numbers in defence. So I want people looking up and seeing where the defence is strongest and looking to attack in the weakest area. So what I'm doing is I'm varying the numbers between the defence in between the 10 and the forward runners and the defence on the outside. So I'm giving them signals with my hand, getting the defence to change accordingly, and then getting the attack to look up, make the call and then play it. So we want the players, as they turn around, to be looking to see what the defence line is doing, and particularly these players from the outside are the ones that should be calling on the inside where we want to attack to the number 10. But number 10 generally doesn't have the time or the space to be looking outside of these areas, so he needs the information from these guys out here. So this is quite a simple drill, but a very effective drill in learning where to attack the weakest part of the defence line. So that's exactly what we want. The space was off the 10 there. Again, it's quite simple at the moment, but we want the players reacting and looking up. Too much in modern rugby, we see players not looking up and not looking at what the defence line is doing, and just playing each play by the field position or the pattern. We need to get away from this sort of rugby. We need to give the players a framework to work in, but for them to make the right decision. Beautiful line there. Well done by the 10, and very good running lines for both the forwards there. The other thing you might notice is that we don't use cones. So again, they've gone to the outside there, which is again the right option. And the reason I don't use cones is because there's no cones on a rugby field. That's not to say it's wrong, but I like the players just to fill the space and work in the parameters of of the players they're against. We're just explaining here that the back runner needs to take the ball a little bit deeper because he needs to have that time to make the decision on what that defender outside the tight defence around the 10 does. If he goes too early, comes out too early and takes the ball too flat, then he doesn't have that time, and that's when a lot of the time you'll see that outside defender here jamming in and cleans up that attacker. Good option there, ran the good line. Fence was thin around the 10. We're just going to play a game now to finish off, where every time the defence makes a tackle, the defender will drop out. So what we're trying to, again, getting the attack to do is to be looking at the defence line, looking to see where the space is, and as the numbers decrease, we should obviously get space on the outside, and therefore we want to be playing the outside option that we've just been practising there. It's always a good thing, I think, from a coaching point of view to end the session on a game. So you put all what you've done in the session into a game so they can practice that skill. Again, make it competitive, have a winner and a loser. So now we stop now. The yellow team have been able to keep the ball. So here we should have the two forward runners here. We've got 3 of them, which is not such a problem. But we need that back runner to be back here, so as an option. As you can see, they've only got three defenders now. So what we want is the ball in this guy's hand because he's going to score. So we want the 10 to go to the line and commit this player, for this forward here to commit this player, and then for the ball to go outside, and we've got a 3-on-1. The option's not wrong because the player's in a good position, but the try-scoring option's on the outside, and what we want to be doing, and particularly it's so important in modern rugby, you take the opportunity when it is, and these guys here should have been yelling and screaming for the ball because there's no defence line at all. You know, and sometimes you see that in the game of rugby at the moment. You know, the sides have to keep chasing the ball, and then they've only got a defence line up to the 60% line on the field, and there's that option on the outside to attack with. So I'm just talking to those outside guys now and asking did they make the call to the number 10. Unfortunately they didn't, and that's what they've got to learn. They've got to be making those calls to the inside guys to make sure they get the ball in those situations where there's a try scoring opportunity on. Just a coaching tip, if you're practicing attack defence, allow the turnover ball play to continue. You'd see in that situation there that the yellow team didn't react at all to the turnover ball. You know, there's a lot of thought at the moment that after a turnover ball, the next 10 seconds is the most important time where you either can gain momentum in attack or close them down in defence. And that makes a lot of sense. So make sure at training you practice those turnovers so the sides quickly react. It's good shape there on that 10 runner there. Play the loop play there. Again, the outside runner was just a little bit flat on the ball. We just hold that here. As you can see now, there's only one place this team can attack, and that's in there. But these players here haven't realigned and haven't created an attacking opportunity. So it's the responsibility of that next outside back to make sure these people are in an attack line and create that. Because the opportunity mightn't come on this play, but it's going to come on the next play. And as you can see here, this is the only area we can attack now. So that allows that team now to double tackle those ball carriers. And a double tackle means that you're going to get slow ball, which puts the defence in the most advantageous situation. For the coaches, one of the most important things is sometimes you have to re-educate the players to play the game. Because rugby has become so structured with pattern plays, area management, field position, the importance of territory, players have lost the skill of being able to look at the opposition defence and knowing when to attack. And for attack to get better in rugby, we need that to happen. So you need to do small drills, but always finish up with games that create situations where the players are looking at the opposition and having to make decisions. Release. Lay on. Hey, Jonathan! We really encourage the players to make decisions, that the players need to make decisions because they've got to take the opportunities when they are available at the moment. You know, over the last 20 years, defences have improved much more than attack. And we need the attack to start improving, and that'll only come through the ability of players to be able to take the opportunities when they are. Just in summary for this session, it's been a good learning session for the players, and we've really wanted them to play against the defence, to manipulate the defence, to control the defence. So what we're trying to do is create it with shape off 9, create it with shape off 10, and then have the options on the outside. But all the time the players are looking at the defence line and looking to see what the best option is. You don't need to have pretty training sessions. You need to have training sessions that are effectively testing the skill of the players and testing their decision making. And by the end of the session there was definitely some improvement in the players' running lines, in their ability to communicate opportunities. And if they did this consistently for a 12-week period, they would improve enormously. And to change players thinking about the game, it just doesn't happen in 3 weeks. You know, you've got to continually practice and practice and practice because the players have been drilled in pattern rugby for the last 6 or 7 years. That you've got to re-educate them, retrain them, and be very, very consistent in the coaching and training process. In the last session we tried to attack off 10. We gave the 10 two options on the outside, 2 forward runners running unders line, and then had a back out the back who's looking for the opportunities to go wide. So what we're trying to do is initially compress the defence by having runners going through the defence line. When the defence line is compressed, then we want to be able to play to the outside. So we're always trying to give the 10 the options to play where the defence is weakest. We put that in a game at the end where we had decreasing number of defenders. The boys got a little bit tired and a little bit ragged, but still the understanding of what they were trying to do, I think, came through the session. I think all the time when you're playing your game of rugby, you've got to have a point of difference, and ours is trying to be skillful. If you've got a big physical side, then obviously you can smash the ball over the game line. But if you haven't got a big physical side, then you've got to give your number 10 options to play with. And there've got to be options that hit the line, go through the line, and options that go outside the line. So always try to get it firstly in a drill and then put it into a game so the players' understanding of it's much better. So make sure, guys, you really try to look at your coaching, see how you can improve the skill level of your players and the understanding of the players by doing a combination of drills and games. And always finish off with a game. It's a good way for the players to finish the session and they want to come back tomorrow. So good luck with it, boys.